So in this session, we'll learn about JavaScript. We'll discuss what is this JavaScript, why we are going to use the JavaScript, what is the importance of JavaScript. That we'll discuss in this session. Uh, if
Sir,
any
excuse me,
doubts
sir.
are, 1 minute. If you have any doubts from the HTML or something like that, we'll take up the extra class. We'll take up the extra class. Probable, if possible, I'll take the class on Sunday, and I'll finish the balance part what we have in our HTML. Yeah, yes, please. Okay, now let's learn what is the JavaScript, why we are using the JavaScript. Basically. So we'll talk about the JavaScript. As the name says, it is a scripting language, we call it as. So what is the scripting language means? It's a code where it's a kind of it's a programming language where you have the concepts of what you call if, else, for loops, all that will be there. So it's why it's called in a language there. We have the HTML. HTML is also a language only. It's called the hypertext markup language. It consists of only some tags are going to be there for us in our HTML. But when you talk about your JavaScript, in this we have the we call them as what we call the constraints, or where you can have the condition checking statements, we can have the looping statements can be there. All those things can be made use of. We will discuss how to use them, all that, how we are going to use the condition checking statements and all that we'll discuss later. Right now we'll have the introduction to this, what we call the JavaScript. Now comes a question, why this JavaScript we are going to use it? Now remember, JavaScript you are going to have the concept of what we call interactivity. So what is exactly mean by the interactivity here is, so what is this interactivity you are talking about means, for example, let us say that you are clicking on a page. Okay, when you click on a page, so we have seen most of the time what happens, it's going to give us some messages, it's going to give it, or when I click on it, it's going to change the color, it is going to change, or something like that you want to do it. That is what we call interactivity, we call it as. When I want to have the interaction to be done, okay, then we are going to use what we call JavaScript, we are going to use it. Now, remember the important thing is a JavaScript is called a client-side programming language. It is called. It is called a client-side programming language, or we call it a scripting language. Okay, when you say it's a client-side scripting language, now that means it runs on your machine on which you are working. We know that when I'm working with the internet, there are two machines are going to be involved for me. So one machine is the machine which we are working, and another machine to which we are connecting. For example, let us say I'm trying to connect to my Gmail. So Gmail, okay, Gmail server I'm connecting, that's the machine to which I'm connecting. And the computer, maybe the laptop you are using it, or maybe you are using a desktop, or you may be using any other device like mobile, you are going to use it. Okay, that mobile, what you are going to use it, it's called a client side machine, it is called. The machine to which I'm connecting in the remote place, it's called a server side machine. Now remember what happens is when you talk about your JavaScript, so these JavaScript code is downloaded to your local machine, that is from the server. Generally what will happen, it will be downloaded from the server to the client, it will be downloaded, and then the code is going to be executed for you on the machine on which you are working. Right. Now, when we talk about the JavaScript, it is an interpreted language, we call it as. That means it's going to execute line by line execution, it's going to do it. So first line of command is going to execute for me. And if there is any error is there, or anything that is not understood by your Java interpreter, it gives me the error. That is, in case of your JavaScript, what will happen is, it is going to give me only one error at a time for me. Whereas when you talk about your JavaScript, remember it is also a case sensitive programming language, or what you call it's a case sensitive scripting language, we call it as. So what do you mean by case sensitive means? You remember that when I'm writing my HTML, sometimes we have written the tags in capital letters, it works for me. Sometimes when I'm writing them in small letters, it works for me. That is, either I'm using a small letters for my tags, or I'm using capital letters for my tag. It works for me. But remember, when you talk about a JavaScript, the JavaScript is a case sensitive programming language. That means if I'm writing a command in small letter, you are also supposed to write only in small letters. If you're writing the command in capital letters, that doesn't work. It gives me the error saying that the command is not recognized. Okay. Now we'll talk about your JavaScript. So as I said, that JavaScript will help me to add the interactivity. So what you call, for example, I'm clicking on a button, I want to do some calculations, I want to do it. let us say that you are designing a small screen, you are designing. So where you want to do the calculation of, you have entered the uh, marks of a student you have entered. Let us say that you have entered the marks of a student in 3 subjects you have entered. And then after that, I want to calculate the total. It's not necessary for you to key in the total there. What we can do is we can have some code can be written there. In the background, we can write a code now. So for example, I click on the button, then it's going to do the activity it's going to do for me, the total calculation or the average calculation or the result calculation. All this code can be written in the background for me. So to do that one, we are going to use what we call the our JavaScript is going to be used. Now, the another important thing one has to know is when I'm going to use my HTML, it is going to design only the structure. That is, when I'm going to talk about my HTML part, it's going to design only the how the content has to be displayed. Only it's going to talk about that. That is, so we are going to have some markup languages are going to be there, like you are going to use a heading tag. So it's going to display for me in a bigger font size. It's going to display for me. Now, if I want some changes has to be done, like for example, I'm using my heading tag, but I want to change the style, the way how it's going to display them, then I'm going to use the CSS, I'm going to use it, where I'm going to change the way how it's going to display the content. And then when I talk about my JavaScript, so JavaScript is going to add the interactivity or it is going to add the behavior. For example, okay, you click on a button, what you want to do it, you'll be writing that code. Okay, that's what you call the behavior part, you can add it. So we can divide these things into 3 layers. Like first layer is what your HTML. On top of the HTML, we are going to have the CSS, and on top of the CSS, we are going to have the JavaScript is going to be there always for us. Now, when you talk about your JavaScript, all the data that is available for me in my page, they can be accessed using a concept, what you call it as DOM, we call it as, which we call it as a document object model, we call it as. That means the elements which are there, that is whatever you're going to put. For example, let us say I'm having a paragraph element is there, or I'm having a heading tag is there. So these tags data can be accessed using what you call the DOM architecture, or what you call the DOM model, we'll be using it. So which call the document object model, we call it as. We'll discuss what is this object document object model, what it is. We'll discuss that. Okay, and then so generally this JavaScript we are going to use it for what you call it Ajax. We are going to use it. We'll discuss what is this Ajax, and it plays a major role for us in the Ajax part and all that, right? Or let us say that you are, why I'm going to use my JavaScript. So what we said, we are going to have the interactivity, you are going to have it. So whenever you are clicking on something, you want to do something, okay, all that things are what you call the interactivity you'll be using it. Now comes a question, how I'm going to place my JavaScript into my web page. We'll discuss this, we'll just get back to it. I'll just get back to this one. Okay, no issues in that. Okay, let's continue this, then we'll discuss that. Now, if you want to place my JavaScript, okay, the JavaScript code I want to write in my web page, that is in my HTML page, then what you can do is we'll be using a special tag, we'll be using what you call script tag, will be using it. So there is an opening script tag and closing script tag, will be using it. So once I place the script tag, what will happen is in this between the script tags, I can write the JavaScript code can be written. Now remember, using a semicolon at the end of every line of command is optional for me. So if I don't want it, I can omit and typing the semicolon. Right, typing the semicolon at the end of the command is optional for me. We'll take for example and we'll discuss. Okay. No, I'll do one thing. I'll just go to my Visual Studio Code. I'm going. So I'm using my same old this one. Copy. Right. So as usual, I'm going to use my Visual Studio Code. I'm going to use it for typing my document. That is my HTML page. So now I want to have the JavaScript demo there. So I'll say JS demo. I'm giving the title of my page. Now, if you want to place the JavaScript code you want to place, you'll be using the tag called a script tag. Will be using it, and then in between the script tag, we can write the coding. So, for example, when you talk about your JavaScript, we have a command called document dot write. We'll be having a command called document dot write, and what is the message that you want to display onto the screen. So let us say I'm writing hello from JS I'm writing, right? I'm writing a message, hello from JS is a message I'm giving there. Now what happens is this command, what you're writing, document.write command. So this command output will be shown onto the browser for me, that is on my web page. I'll just save this. We'll see the output, how it's going to do for me, right? Okay, I'll just go to the browser. So as usual, what we are seeing, I'm going to use Control+O. I'm going to use it to open my browser page. Okay, so it's available for me in my D drive. So in this, so we have the HTML folder. So in the HTML folder, I've given a file name as c2.html. I'm just asking to open. Now you see that you're going to get the message there, right? So this message, what we have done is we are written it in script tag we are written. I'll just take one example. Let us say I want to print this message 10 times I want to print. Okay, I'll take the example. I'll explain you how I'm writing, what is the syntax and everything that we'll discuss later. Okay, just for demo purpose. Now I want to print this message, hello message. I want to print 100 times. I want to print. Now instead of writing the command document.write 10 times or 100 times, so what you can do is I'll be using a for loop. I'm going to use for loop will help you to repeat more than once. So for example, I'm writing k is equal to 1, k less than or equal to 100, and then k plus plus I'm writing it. Now I'll save this, Alt tab, so refresh. Now you see that it's going to print me 100 times. It is going to print me hello from message. The same thing if I don't know the loops, right? So then what I need to do, I need to type it manually. I have to type the command, or at least I have to duplicate the command. I have to do it. Let us say that you want to print the numbers 1 to 10 numbers or 1 to 100 numbers you want to print. So then simply what you can do is I want to print the numbers. Okay, so I'll use a variable called k and then use the double quotes and do it. Save it, and then you see that it's going to print me the numbers 1 to 100 numbers will be printed for me. See, you start with 1 and you end up with 100. So what we did, we are going to use the concept called loops there. We'll discuss that more about this and discuss later. Now, just I'm giving an example how your JavaScript is going to be much helpful for you for doing things. Okay, right. So like simply you want to print just simple message to be printed. What you can do is you can write document.write command can be used. So when I use this command called document.write, it is going to print me the message whatever we are going to give it. So that message you have to enclose it into double quotes. Okay. So let us say I'm using a name called hello Ravi. I'm using it. Then when I'm using a refresh now, you can see that message is going to come from me as hello Ravi there. Okay, fine, something like this. Now, what is this document? So document is it's a predefined object for me. So in your JavaScript, document is a predefined object. So what is this object called document represent means? It represents your web page. See the page in which you are working now. So that is going to be represented with an object called document. Now remember, this document object is a predefined object for me in my JavaScript. It's a predefined object. That means it's already defined. You can just use it, and then you can say document.write. If I'm using it, it's going to print me the message onto my screen for us, right? Okay, so I'll just start this. I'm just typing it. Okay, so okay, so when I talk about this JavaScript, we said we are talking about the document, right? So what is this document? Document is a predefined object, we call it as. It's called a predefined object. So what is this? This represents, I mean, the document, it represents the web page in which you are working. It represents the web page in which we are working. Okay, so మనం ఏమైతే వెబ్ పేజ్ లో వర్క్ చేస్తున్నామో ఆ వెబ్ పేజ్ వర్క్ చేస్తున్నటువంటి వెబ్ పేజ్ ని రిప్రజెంట్ చేయడానికి డాక్యుమెంట్ అనేటువంటి ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ని యూజ్ చేస్తాం మనం. Now when I want to print something onto my document, then I'm going to use document.write. You can make use of it, or you can use write ln. So, but if I'm using write ln, it ignores it. That's it. So ln stands for new line character. So I'll be using write followed with double quotes. Then we'll be using a message. So what is the message that you want to print? You'll be using that message. Okay. That message you need to put it into double quotes. In case if I'm not using double quotes, okay, then what happens? It will be acting as a variable, we call it as. We'll discuss what is a variable. Okay, we'll talk about what is a variable. If I'm not using double quotes, then my JavaScript understands that is a variable. If I'm using double quotes, JavaScript understands that is a message to be printed as it is onto the screen. Now, how to use this JavaScript? How to use the JavaScript? So how do I use my JavaScript there in my code is, we are going to use a tag called a script tag. We are going to have it. We are going to have the opening script tag, and then we are going to have the closing script tag is going to be there. So in between these tags, okay, opening the closing. So here we are going to write the JavaScript commands we are going to write there. Okay, what I'm using double slash, it's called a comment. Comment means non-executable statement. The command for which you'll not be seeing the results, it's called a non-executable statement. We'll discuss one by one. We'll get back to them. No issues in that. Okay, you understood, right? So when I want to place my JavaScript code, so I'll be using the script tag. For example, so here what I did, so I have placed the JavaScript. Now the command I have placed it. So to print a message now. So this is written now. So to print a message, to print a message, right? What is the message that I want to print? Hello Ravi. So the message is hello Ravi. So this message I want to print. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm writing document.write. I'm writing it there. So once I write document.write, what happened? This message will be printed on your web page on which you are working. Right. So this we could also done it using what you call the HTML tags. Also we can do it. But we have I just have shown you an example. So by using a for loop, we can have the command to be repeated. Like I want to print 100 times, I want to print it. Hello Ravi message, I want to print 100 times. I can use a simple for loop can be made use of it, and we can make it to be repeated for 100 times. So that is what we have the advantage of using the JavaScript there. So that is you need not to worry about. Yeah. So I was just telling you about how we are going to place the JavaScript code into our web page. So when I want to place my JavaScript code into my web page, we are going to open the script tag and we are going to close the script tag. Between this opening and the closing script tag, we are going to write our JavaScript code. We are going to write. Then mute a microphone, please. Okay. So once we are going to place the tags, the code, whatever is there, we are going to place between the opening script tag and the closing script tag. And then as normally when I'm going to execute my HTML page like that, you need to execute the normal HTML page you execute. You see the output, you'll be seeing it from the script tag, whatever the code you have written, that will be executed. Now, the script what you have written is within our web page. Okay, it's called embedded or it is called the internal. We say now the script is internal or we call it as embedded. So this is what we are talking about. So this example, what you're writing here, this is a part of my page. So you call this as an embedded script, you call it as, or we also call it as an internal script. The script is present as a part of my page, my web page now. That's why it's called an internal or it is called a embedded script it is called. So we have the same scripts can also be written, what you call the JavaScript can also be written using another way, what you call the external scripts. So for the external scripts, what we do is only JavaScript code, whatever the JavaScript code is there, that you copy it and you put it in a separate file with an extension, what you call it as .js. Like as we are doing in case of CSS, only CSS part will remove it and we'll put in a separate file and then we can start using that. Similarly, like that, here the JavaScript can be placed in a different file and that can be embedded or that can be brought into our program. To bring that one into our program, we'll be using now the script tag, will be using it. Along with the script tag, we are going to use src, we are going to use it. So that is script source is equal to some file name. So what is the file name in which you are going to have the JavaScript is there? So that you have to give it. So once I give it, then what will happen? That script, whatever is there for me, that will be loaded into your program and you can start working on it. But What is the problem for me is, so whenever you're going to call that particular page, you're going to call it. So what happens is every time it is going to call that, um, the page is going to be called. That is a server side script is going to be executed for me. So it's going to call the script multiple times. It is going to call. So which is going to create what you call the additional load on the server. It is going to. So generally, if we are having 2 or 3 lines or 10, 20 lines are there, that doesn't make much difference for me. But when my JavaScript code is very big, okay, lengthy code if I'm writing, then what happen? There will be performance issue, that is loading and everything will be problematic for me. Okay. Now we'll talk about where the JavaScript can be placed. Just now we have seen an example where the JavaScript is going to be placed for me. Now you can do is what? You can place the JavaScript inside your body of an HTML page, or you can also place the JavaScript can be placed in the head section of your document. Generally, we prefer to place the script tag at the bottom of the body tag. So why we are going to put that one in as the bottom of the body tag means because this will have the better access will be there to the DOM structure, what you call the document object model. You'll be having it. Not necessary that you'll be writing it. There are advantages are there. There are some disadvantages are there of writing the script on top. That is on the beginning of your body tag. Writing there is a disadvantage. We'll discuss that little later. We'll talk about them. Okay. So remember, so the JavaScript that whatever we're talking about the script tag. So here we have taken what we are writing code in my the script that is in my body tag. I am writing it. Now we can also write that script in the head section. Also we can write. Okay. Remember, we can also write in the head section. Also can be written. Now, so how do you write that one in the head section? So to write that one in my head section, simple thing is whatever the script you have written, that script I'm removing it from here. Then I'll just move to the head section. So anywhere in the head section, you can write the tag can be placed. Now save it, coming back onto this. Sorry. I'm going to my browser and I say refresh now. You can see that it's going to print. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll add the message. I'll change here. So JavaScript. So this is my head section. I'll be printing it. Save it. So refresh. Now you see that the message is printed for me from the head section. Now let us say if I'm also using my script tag in the body section. Okay. So we are using in both locations now here. One I'm using in the head section, other one I'm using it in the body section. To differentiate that, so differentiation person, and I'm just placing the body there. So save it and then go back to the browser and then say refresh. Now you see that. So first the message is coming from the head section, then the message is coming from the body section. So that is what. Now remember, so the script, whatever you are writing it in the head section, it is going to be executed first, and then after the whatever the script you are written in the body part, that is going to be executed next, right? So body part, whatever is there, it's going to be second, and then so what we wrote in the head section, it will be first for us. That is, this is going to be executed first for me, and then so this one is going to be executed second. Okay, that's why you see the output is going to be coming first. You're going to see the output from the head section, and then you're going to get the output from the body section for me. So that is what the output you're going to see. Okay. So any questions are there? You can always unmute your microphone and let me know, right? So what the difficulty you're having it. Yeah. So we have seen that how to make use of that. Okay, how to place the script in the body section and how to put it in the head section. We have discussed that. Now, when you talk about your JavaScript, so with the help of the JavaScript, we can display the message onto my web page in multiple ways. We can display the message. So what are the possible ways of displaying the messages or messaging and displaying something onto my JavaScript means? We use what you call the HTML. We'll be using it. The what you call we use what you call inner HTML. There is one attribute is there, what you call inner HTML. We'll discuss that. We'll just brief introduction here. Okay, we have something what you call inner HTML is there. So you can make some of the inner HTML and then you can display the content in my web page. Or what you can do, we have seen this method of displaying the information, that is document.write. So inside your page, you can write the code there. Or if you want to show something to the user now, so that is using some doing some mistake or something like that, then what you can do, you can use something what you call alert can be made use of. Okay, alert box can be used. So we can say we can make the alert also. Or let us say that I don't want to display something here on my screen, I don't want it. So internally I want to use it for debugging purpose or what you call. So what is going wrong with my web page, I want to know it. Then so what you can do is you can also display the message onto the console by using what you call the option called console.log. We can make it up. Don't worry. So it's only, I'll be explaining one by one example. We'll take it and we'll discuss them. So how we make use of them and everything, we'll discuss them. Right. Now we have what you call the JavaScript statements are going to be there, or what we call them as the commands. So what are these JavaScript commands, or what you call these JavaScript statements means? So the commands or statements, and they are consisting of some values, operators, expressions, keywords, comments, all these different things. They are called the JavaScript statements. They are called. For example, I have a plus b. I am writing a plus b is called an expression. So plus is called the operator. Okay, like that. Now you are using a keyword called var. You are going to use it. So var is a keyword. So like that. And we have the comments are going to be. The comments are the non-executable statements in our JavaScript where they will not be executed. That means if I'm writing any command, if I'm writing using the comments, then what will happen? The command output will not be seeing it. Right. Okay. Now let us say that I want to declare a variable. So what do you mean by variable? We'll discuss that now. So what do you mean by variables means variable is like a container. For example, let us say you want to store milk. So when I want to store milk, what we do? So we take some container, we'll be taking it, and inside that container, you can start putting something, or it's like a box. For example, let us say I want to put some apples into it. Then I can take a box and I can put some apples into the box, or into the same box, I can also put some oranges or whatever it is. Now, when I want to store something, now these oranges, apples, it's called the data we call it as. Whenever I want to have some data to be stored, then what we do is we'll be making use of what you call variables to be using it, right? So variables are the one which will help me to store the data inside my program. So whenever I want some data to be stored, then I'll be using the concept of what you call variables. Remember, variables are nothing but the containers which will help me to store the data. Now remember, when I'm using the container, okay, I need not to tell what is that I'm going to store into my container. For example, I have one container is there. Okay, what do you call a box or some bottle is there with you. So that bottle, I can use it for storing the milk. I can use that one for storing water, or I can use it for storing the oil, or I can use the same thing for the petrol also. You understand what I'm telling? I'm having a box is there or a bottle is there. So in my bottle, I can put anything, whatever I wanted. So, but basically it should be a liquid like thing. Okay. So I'm using a box or a bottle is there. In that I can put milk, I can put water, I can put petrol or something like that. So that means these variables will be helpful for me to store the data. So when you say data, maybe like for example, you are writing a program for calculating the total marks. Now here marks is called the data there. Or let us say that you are writing some program to get the user information. Like for example, you want the user to type their name, okay, what is their qualification, what is their address, all these data. You call that one as a data, you call it as. So whenever I want to play with the data or I want to have some data to be stored, then we can make some variable like concept can be made use of it for storing the data there. Okay. So when you talk about the comments, we have different types of comments are going to be there in our JavaScript. So what are these comments? Comments are also called the non-executable statements. That means if I'm writing some command in that as a part of the comment, if I'm writing some command, that command will that command will not be executed. That means if I'm writing the document.write command, if I'm writing it, and then I'm enclosing that one into slash asterisk and slash, if I'm putting it, then what will happen? So that command output will not be seen. We'll see one example. So for example, let us say, so I'm writing the script here. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'll make this one as a remark. I'm using double slash there. So when I'm using double slash, what will happen? It becomes a remark for me. Then I'll save it. I'll go to the browser. Then I'm refreshing my browser. Now you see that so what we wrote the second one in the body section, that is not displaying. The output is not going to be displayed for me. Why? Because I made that one as a non-executable statement. Double slash, I'm using it at the beginning of the line, indicating it's called a non-executable statement for me. That means you are writing a command also, you will not see the result of that command. So those things are called the non-executable statements. Now, when you talk about the non-executable statements, you can make use of slash asterisk also can be made use of, and at the end you can have it as asterisk followed with the slash can be used. Okay, that is you can use slash asterisk and slash can be used, or double slash can be used at the beginning of the line. Okay, the same thing we can also have the extension as multi-line comment we call it as. So if I want to have more than one line, the comments can be broken into multiple lines. So for that you'll be using slash asterisk, and the end is going to have the asterisk followed with the slash. So if you want to have only one line, so you'll be starting the slash asterisk and slash both in the ending in the same line. Or what I can do is I can also make it the double slash for a single line comment we call it. Only if you have the more than one line comment to be writing, you can use the other option what you call slash asterisk will be using it. As I was telling you about the variable, so variables are the like the containers to store the information or what you call the data. So whenever I want to store some data, right? For example, I want to store a value called 5 into a variable called a. Then I'm writing like this: a is equal to 5. I'm writing. So this stores the data 5 into this variable called a. So like this, we can make the different variables can be made use of. Like b is another variable, c is another variable. So here what I have done, I have written c is equal to a plus b. I have written. That means you are asking to calculate the value there. Some a plus b value is going to be calculated and it's going to be stored into the variable called c there. So remember, variables are the one which will help me to store the contents, are what you call, you want to store some data, right? The data, when you talk about the data may be name of the student or name of the employee, or maybe it's the address part, or it is maybe some numbers you're going to store it. Okay, all these things are what you call them as data, we call it as. Okay, now when I'm talking about the variables, so variables are also called the identifiers. Remember, there are two things will be there. So one is called the identifier and one more is called the reserved word, or we call them as keywords. So what is this reserved word and what is this identifier means? Reserved words are the keywords or the words which are defined by the system for me. Like for example, I talk about JavaScript. In JavaScript, there is a keyword called var. Just now we have seen that keyword called var there. Okay, that keyword called var, it is used to declare a variable. So whenever you want to, a variable has to be defined, you can mix up a keyword called var. Okay, remember using the var variable, keyword is optional for me, but we'll discuss what is the use of that. We'll discuss later. Okay, now when I want to define the variables, so we have to follow certain rules we have to follow. Okay, a few rules has to be followed for defining the names, right? Okay, what are the rules that I need to follow is, the best practice is define a variable name starting with a letter R with an alphabet. Don't use the number, okay? Generally, it's advised not to use the numbers in the beginning of the name. When I'm defining a name, that is what you call the identifier, or we call it a variable name. So the variable name may contain the letters, digits, dollar, and underscore. Okay, or you can have a combination of these things can be there. But remember, you cannot make the other special characters like asterisk, okay, or plus symbol like that cannot be used when you're going to declare the names. And very important thing is you cannot use spaces, cannot be used in between the variable name. If you want to use a space, it is better to use the underscore has to be used. Or if you are having a combination of two words are there, and then don't use a space, you can use underscore, or you can use capital can be used to indicate that it's a next word for me. So like that. Now remember, JavaScript, as a JavaScript is a case sensitive, and it is also the same with the help of the in case of your variable names also it is same form. So some names which I've taken, which we call it a valid name, and some names are which are invalid. Means you cannot use them as a names. If I'm using them as a names, then I'll get the error there. So for example, I'm using a special character. I'm using what you call space here. So we know that spaces are not allowed for me. Or here, if you look in this example, I'm going to use question mark there. Question mark indicates that it's a special character. So here, if you look in, I'm using a so number as a starting name. For the starting of the variable, I'm using the number. So also it's not allowed for me. So when I talk about the variable names, you can use a dollar symbol, underscore symbol can be used, okay, like that. So we can have the variables can be defined. Now, very important thing one has to know is in case of your JavaScript, so the we have what we call the data type, the concept of what we call data type. So what do you mean by data type means what the data type says is what type of data that I'm going to put into my variables. What type of data means is it I'm going to put the number type of data or it's called the character type of data or it is we're going to have the in numbers again we have numbers with decimal point or without decimal point like the different types of data is there. We'll discuss one by one. Okay, remember in case of your JavaScript, uh, depending upon what the data I'm giving, what you call, what is the value I'm assigning into a variable. So based on that, what will happen automatically, the data type of the variable is defined or it is determined by my JavaScript itself. So JavaScript will automatically find out what type of data that you're going to put into the variable, and based on that, you'll be using it for the different purposes it will be using. For example, I'm using a number, I'm using it and then if I'm applying the plus operator, it is going to do the mathematical addition, it's going to do it. If I'm going to use a string, if I'm using that, if I'm putting it data into double quotes, if I'm putting it, and then if I'm using the plus operator, then it is going to do the concatenation, it's going to do it. We'll discuss the example, we'll take the example and we'll discuss more on that. Okay. We have what you call the constants are going to be there. So what do you mean by constant means constant is one whose value is not going to change for me. Once if I'm going to have a value is going to be defined. So in the further down the line of my program, we cannot change the value of that one. It's what you call constant, we call it as. Whereas remember in case of the variable, so what is this variable means? Variable is one whose value can be changed inside my program. If I'm putting some value into it as first 5 I'm putting, again I can change the value to 6 or 100 or whatever the value I want. But whereas when you talk about the constants, you cannot change the value of the variable in the some of the other part of your program. How we declare the constants means, so when I'm going to declare the constants, we are going to use a keyword called const is a keyword that we are going to use it. Remember, generally when you are going to declare the variables, so you can use small letters or capital letters can be used. But generally when I'm using the constants when I'm declaring it, I always prefer to use the capital letter names. Why means to indicate they are the special and whose value cannot be changed to that. For that, what we call to have the special identity for that one, we'll be using the capital letters. I'll be using it, right? Okay, we'll discuss about these data types and all little later. We'll talk about them. So, any questions you have it? Any questions?
Sir, please post the yesterday's video in YouTube
Yeah,
classroom.
yeah. Today, yesterday I could not do it. Sorry,
Yeah,
today I could. Okay. Tomorrow
select
I'll
us.
post it. Tomorrow I'll
Okay,
post it.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. So, any other questions, please?
Sir, after declaring script, we can directly apply the statement, sir.
Like example.
You have declared script ending and closing tags, sir.
Okay.
In between, we can directly apply the statements, or else we have main programs that
No,
part.
no, 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 no. There is no concept or what you call main program and all. It's not there. So right now you understand that. So when I'm going to have the script tag, I can write my commands into the script tag. So that's a simple concept. Okay. We don't have a concept of main and all is not there with our JavaScript.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So any other questions? Don't worry, we'll discuss about them again. Tomorrow we'll start the again. We have the introductories. I'll just give you the brief introduction to the JavaScript again and give the brief introduction, and then we'll continue the next rest of the part. I'll continue.
హలో సార్
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Yeah.
హలో
చెప్పండి.